Hello, this is Beacon Hill Books. I'm here with a book review on autobiography written by Jewel. It's called Never Broken. Songs are only half the story. I actually listened to this on audiobook through my library through Hoopla, and I really enjoyed this book, especially because it was not only, of course, written but read by Jewel. Many people know some sort of parts of Jewel's life. That she lived in a car and little things. She's from Alaska. But this book goes into a lot more detail and kind of explains what type of person she is and all the tribulations that she had to go through, especially when she was a very little girl. And it's tremendously inspiring, and her story is truly amazing, I feel. All the way beginning, a lot of what has shaped her is really her parents. Her father, who she ended up living with in various places, very small rural places with her brothers, ended up being the primary caretaker, if you can call him that, because her parents got divorced at a very young age, and it really was survival from the beginning for her. Because of her father's past, he had a lot of problems and did have alcohol problems and some slight abuse problems. And she held her mom on a very high pedestal because she wasn't involved in her life. However, her mother really, come to find out, didn't want anything to do with raising the kids. Her mom kind of has, I almost want to say, a multiple personality disorder. She's very bohemian in the way she speaks, and she really, although she's ingrained in a lot of things that Jewel grew up with and thinking, she's also, some people could very much consider her a little bit of a lunatic. The details of her growing up is very tough life, a hardship to go through. When she starts breaking through, because she came from nothing, she had a lot of time to observe other people and also to see the blessings in the very small things, including a lot of people that she calls, quote, angels in her life, which she has many of them. But it was also interesting to note that she has a good friendship with Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. She has opened for people like Bob Dylan and Neil Young, which she grew up listening to, but also helped shape her and give her confidence in moving forward when was just about on the brink of breaking into the big market of things. She dated Sean Penn right out of the gate before she was really truly, quote, popular, which surprised me, but ended up marrying a cowboy called Ty Murray, who some might say in a typical fashion was a stereotypical male, didn't want to quite get married, but they ended up doing that and getting pregnant and having a son. I think listening to this book, it did take me a little bit. She speaks very slowly, softly. As her book says, she's sensitive. I mean, you can tell. And even with speeding up the audiobook, it sounds like she's talking normally. So it took a little bit to get through this. I think it was 10 and a half hours or something like that. But I still did enjoy it a lot. And it gave me a different perspective into how she says mental health is kind of, unfortunately, a luxury in this country, especially. The people that need it the most don't tend to be able to afford it, and therefore goes untreated. And she speaks very eloquently about trying to get help, and she has initiatives on her website and such to try and help people to deal with the kinds of psychological abuse and trauma that she's also gone through. I find as a very impressive quality about her. She also has an initiative for clean water, because there was a lot of times in her life where she didn't have clean water or healthy foods, and her health suffered because of it. And again, that's a luxury sometimes, and especially a luxury where Americans take that for granted. There were some places where she broke down her songs, which she also writes a lot of poetry and has some poetry books. So like she reads it as like a poem, and then she actually just sings it with no musical instruments or anything. It's just her I love her voice, so I really did enjoy that. And she did that for about 5 or 6 songs. And I kind of wanted to play little snippets for you guys, but I didn't know if that was against the rules or not. But in terms of just if you like music and if you like understanding why people are the way that they are, and especially someone that has to go through a lot of hardships, I highly recommend this book, especially the audiobook, so you can hear it from her lips herself. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and that although the ending isn't exactly how I had pictured it, or as she says, like the magical fairy tale ending, it still is a good ending in the fact that she's really come to find herself and understand how to really get to take care of herself. And it's inspiring for someone to read how someone can go through such tribulations and still be so aware and caring and continuing to want to make herself and the world a better place. So great job, Jewel. I loved it, and that's about it. So happy reading, everybody.